Hello, family. Uh, my name is Charles Thomas, and glad to be in your presence again. It's been a while, and I know you've been doing a lot of studying, as well as myself, and the concern is still prevalent in my mind as to what is going on in our community, and the love of understanding and getting to the bottom and sorting out things that we as a people have been dealing with, and the lack of knowledge that we have had, and the treatment that we have experienced as a people under Christianity, the theology of Christianity, and what is being taught in the black churches in our community is not a help for us as a people. We're not getting to the meat of the problem because we are wrapped up and bound up in myths. And the only person that I know that have gave credence and good understanding of what we've been through as a people, I followed, and I found it was under the leadership of W.D. Muhammad, as far as breaking down scripture and getting to the meat of the problem. And he's got a lot of books, a lot of good books out there that you should be reading. And we all should be reading and being concerned about what we have lost as a people, or what was taken from us as a people. But before I get into the meat of this conversation, I would like to say a prayer, the Fatiha, the way that it should be spoken by a people that have been through what we've been through under Christianity, and knowing that we must turn back to righteousness. This is almost dealing with the rapture, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But let's say this quick Fatiha prayer. In the name of righteousness, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to righteousness, the Lord of all the worlds, most gracious and most merciful, Master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship, and thine aid do we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, not those whose portion is wrath, nor those who go astray after righteousness. Amen. So what I'm saying is that in that prayer is that righteousness is what we are lacking as a people, because we are a righteous people. And Christianity, the effects of Christianity that we've been under, is a form of retardation for us, because we are not a religious people. We are a spiritual people. But religious people have been dominating us from aggressive realization that we are not aware of, because we were born and created for spirituality. We were not born and created for religion. But we have been dominated by religion, and that's all we know is religion. So we have to reconform and reconstruct ourselves to get a better understanding of our spirituality and how to function under our melanin, which is a chemical that our pineal gland balances. It's a chemical, not a color. Religion is turning into a color because it doesn't understand melanin. And it doesn't understand us as a righteous people, because we have been under the influence of an unrighteous people. And all we know is unrighteousness. And let's talk about the rapture. We as a people have to come out of the grave of religion. And by coming out of the grave of religion, you will come into an understanding of your spirituality and the importance of your spirituality, so that we can compete from a spiritual perspective and not a religious perspective. Because religion is here to keep you lacking. That's where the word black came from. If you take the B off of it, it's lack. And you're lacking because of the condition that you've been subjected to as a people. So my reasoning is to get you to understand and to get you to return back to righteousness. Righteousness is what you were created for. Going back to Genesis. And religious people don't understand that. Because the real Christians are in Ethiopia. The Church of Lalibela in Ethiopia, they use the symbol of a cross for the Christian belief and the balance that's in the universe of righteousness and the harmony that righteousness has created. That's why when Adam was in the garden, Adam was hiding from God. And God asked Adam, "Why are you hiding from me?" And Adam said, "I'm hiding because I'm naked." And then God said, "Who told you that you was naked? I clothed you in righteousness." But Satan had deceived him, and because of the guilt that he felt from breaking the covenant of righteousness, he thought he was naked. But he wasn't naked. Your spirituality of righteousness is your clothing. So we have to understand and start dealing with the fact that you are righteous by nature, and you have been put, and religion has put us in an unrighteous state of mind. Because you have to understand, once you die, this physical dimension is the end of it. And then you, as a righteous person, you want to go to the next spiritual plane. But you can't go to that spiritual plane because you got this physical body. But within your body is a spiritual person that's hungering and starving for that spiritual world so that he can get back to his spiritual twin. But we don't understand that because we've been taught to believe in something that is outside of ourselves. And if you worship something that's outside of yourself, that tells you that you are in a religious state of mind, or you're in a zombie state of mind, because everything that you need, you were given at creation. My nephew sent me a text, and he was explaining to me, in one of the prophets, Jesus said that your body is a temple. And what do you think is the temple? Your temple. This is your temple. And within your temple is a pineal gland. Your pineal gland supplies your melanin, which is a chemical, and it reacts and responds to righteousness, and is connected to the universe. You send out your thoughts is the fastest speeding thing in this dimension, in your prayers, in your psyche. You're connected to the universe. And non-melanin people are the opposite of us. They are very aggressive. They like murder. That's what you see on TV. On TV, you see more murder. You see more cynical things. Because they are in control of, they dominate in this religion and the airwaves. Everything that you see is motivated and stimulated with greed. And it's such a sad situation because they're messing up the planet. with the greed. You got to open up your eyes and see who you are so that you can service your Creator. There's certain key words that are in the Bible that the religious people took out and substituted so that they can keep you on that realm of slavery. The Bible was created for slaves. Non-melanin people do not believe in the Bible. They believe in the book that's keeping you distracted from this material and physical thing so they can pick your pockets and run this planet into the ground. They put more value on physical things than they do on spiritual things. They're not aware of spirituality because they are void of spirituality. They're your opposites. You're not going to get any sympathy from them. All they want you to do is continue to go to church and listen to this black preacher teach the rhetoric of a white God that died for you on this cross, and for you to worship that image of that cross as your Lord and your Savior. But your Lord and your Savior is righteousness. Everything that you need is within you. There's nothing hanging anywhere outside of you that can save you. You have to convert that emptiness into righteousness and fill up your soul and your soul with the feeling of righteousness and reconnect yourself to the universe. And just look in the universe and see how it's balanced, how everything is the same cycle. And it's all about goodness. It's not about hate. Hate will take you from your righteousness and create the fear that non-melanin people put in you. You accepted their religion because it was a sanctuary for your safety from their disharmony. That's where they want you, and that black preacher is keeping you in this spirit, in this hate and selfishness environment for survival, because they have a greater fear of non-melanin people. And melanin people dictate to religious ideology that we got them as long as we keep them under the influence of worshiping something on the outside of them and distract them from what God put in them. So religion was the apple that they talk about in Genesis. It's religion, which is a tree right straight out of hell that works against a righteous person. You have to understand this. And just don't take my word for it. Just try living a righteous life. It's easier for you to be a righteous person than it is for a non-melanin person to be a righteous. Satan's greatest fear is truth and righteousness. That's his kryptonite. And a couple of words that the Christian church changed to derail you from your righteousness was, and even in Islam, the word Allah is a diagram of a man. You have the H for the head, and you got 2 A's for the arm, and you got 2 L's for the leg. It's a diagram of Adam. And Adam was created in righteousness. Adam was created in righteousness. You can't make any form or shape out of anything other than a mud. You can't do that with sand. You can't, it won't hold together. It don't bind together like clay. And you have to start questioning these religious people that's teaching religion as opposed to teaching spirituality. They don't understand spirituality. Everything in the Bible is based on spirituality. And there's truth in the Bible. But if you don't understand the key words, then you're just going to be trapped in a situation like a zombie. You're going to stay in the darkness of religion. And that's all religion is to distract you from righteousness. The greatest fear that Satan has is that you will return back to righteousness. But that's what the rapture is all about. The rapture is about you coming out of religion back under the law of spirituality, the agreement that Adam and God had of righteousness. And you get immediate response because you are in your true element when you are living a righteous life. But as long as you stay unrighteous, you'll keep getting the mud and the filth that Satan wants you to get. So when God comes back to redeem you, your religion is not going to help you, because religion is the trick that Satan is using to keep you out of righteousness. So let's cover a couple of these key words. Let's deal with Islam. First off, Allah means righteousness. I can explain to you what righteousness is and what righteousness will do for you, but even the Arabs don't know what Allah means. They don't live it. They got more tradition and rituals than the Christians do. It's another form of religion. So why should I try to take you from the Christian religion and put you under the Islamic religion? The Arabs were selling Africans in the Asia before the Caucasians got into the slave trade. And they still have harems, and they still have a mistreatment for Africans. It's a caste society. So we have to understand as a people that we don't have friends. We got to stop trusting and trying to be like a Christian wants you to be a slave. Stop trying to be a slave. Try to be a righteous person. And that's your value if you want response from your Creator, which is righteousness. Okay, so Islam, instead of saying Islam, I can tell you what peace is and harmony is. But that's what Islam means. Islam means peace. And Lord means righteous. And when you see religion in the Bible or in the Quran or in the Torah, don't say religion, say wicked, based on what you experience under religion. When they brought you over here, the first slave ship was called the Good Ship Jesus, because they did not understand what spirituality was. They seen you as a savage because you didn't have no problem walking around women with their breast out. You didn't know what rape was, and all these incest and all. We were in harmony. We respected women, and it was a hierarchy with righteousness. We had a community. We had a village. We didn't know about lying and stealing and shooting and cutting. We were a people of high morals. We knew about Ma'at, the 42 laws of Ma'at. We lived a righteous life. We were scientists, astrologers, mathematicians. But because we broke the covenant, God said, if you are obedient to this covenant, you're blessed coming and going. Deuteronomy 28. You'll be blessed coming and going. But if you break my covenant of righteousness, I'll make you a slave to another people. And that people will not show you any mercy. And non-melanin people are not showing you any mercy. So that tells you that you are out of the covenant of righteousness. and away from religion. And that's what Moses came to do. Moses came to get you away from Pharaoh's religion. Noah was teaching righteousness, and the unrighteous people were against Noah. All your prophets, they were not Christians, they were righteous people. The Bible came 400 years after the prophet, Jesus. But Jesus was standing up for righteousness. He wasn't standing up for tradition and rituals. He was telling the people that they were being disobedient. They were unrighteous. And they hung him for that. They hung him on the cross. That's a sign of aggression. Non-melanin people don't understand passion, forgiveness. They don't understand it. It's not in their vocabulary. You can tell this by this past election. They would rather be under the influence of a known criminal, which has been tried in court and proven that he was a criminal. And the only reason that he was running for office was to stay out of prison. But they elected him. They wanted him to be over them. They don't get it. They never will get it. It's up to you to show the world that religion is a disaster based on what you've been through as a people. Why can't you explain that to the world instead of being afraid to take truth in your own hands and tell the world the dark side of religion and what it's done to us as a people? Nobody else can validate that religion is corruption. Nobody has been persecuted like we have been persecuted under religion. So why are the black preachers afraid to explain to the world the dark side of religion and the blessings of righteousness? They have more fear of unrighteousness than they do for righteousness. Your Creator, which is righteousness. We got to wake up as a people. If we ever want to come out of the stupor that Christianity has imposed on us, we just got to stand up for the truth. And in the Bible, the truth will set you free. The world needs what you have to reveal to them. But if you're afraid to tell people about the truth and your experience of being under religion, then you are worse than they are. You're more hypocritical than they are. And God is going to punish you more. Righteousness is going to punish you more than they are going to punish the unrighteous. Because you know the truth, but you are afraid to speak up for the truth. You rather stand there and listen to a lie and let a man tell you that white supremacy, worshiping a white man as God, is what you're supposed to be doing. Based on how you've been treated under the image of a white guy, a non-melanin person, a sign of aggression. That means that you don't believe in life after death. You don't believe that you got a soul that's going to go to a better place. That means you're lying to the people. And I don't know how you can live with yourself. Because you know as a black person that what you're teaching is not kosher. It's incorrect. You rather teach from a book that the Catholic Church, your slave master, the people that finance slavery, want you to teach from. You won't even teach from the Torah, which Jesus taught from. You rather use the Bible from Christianity over, over the truth. A lot of black people have never seen the Torah. Well, this is the Torah. And I'm gonna read First Psalms, the way that it should be read, and I'm gonna explain these words. Okay, it says, this is Psalms 1. Happy is the man who is not followed the counsel of the religious, or taken the path of religion, or joined the company of the insolent. Rather, the teachings of the righteous is his delight, and he studies that teaching day and night. He is like a tree planted beside streams of life, which is water, right? Which yield its fruit in seasons, whose foliage never fades, and whoever it produces thrives. Not so the religious. Rather, they are like chaff that the wind blows away. Therefore, the religion will not survive judgment, nor will insolent in the assembly of the righteous. For the righteous cherish the way of righteous, but the way of religion is doom. Now you convert those words the way that it should be read, because they changed the Bible so that you can't understand it, and they've changed the Torah. Everybody owes us reparations, even the Arabs, for the damage that their religion has done to us. The Catholic Church owes us reparations for the damage that slavery did to us under religion. The Jewish community owes us reparations for what the damage that they've done by changing the Torah. Even the Quran. The meaning of the holy truth. Quran means truth. They've changed the Quran to keep you a slave. All these books, Lucifer has changed to keep you and I, the melanin people, God's chosen people, under slavery. And they have no intentions of telling you the truth and the key words that will bring you into your spiritual self. They want you under their religious ideology and their theology. But you have to come up and study to find out what they've taken from you. What they don't want you to know is that you are a spiritual person. And some good books that you should be able to pick up and read is the Iceman's Inheritance by Michael Bradley. It's a good book that will put you on the path of your spirituality, and it will reveal the aggression of non-melanin people by John Henry Clark. And another good book, Kabbalah. Kabbalah tips you off on how to use your melanin that God created you with. And simultaneously, you can infuse your righteousness on top of this and understand the color pattern. Religion brought about racism. It ain't no color thing, but they trying to justify what they did to you. Another good book, The American Holocaust, and what they did to the American Indians once they conquered these lands. And religion was a big tool that they used. Religion is what gives the non-melanin people courage and justification to keep you a slave and to keep you less than them And they keep teaching the white supremacy that's in the Christian religion. White supremacy, that's what you teach every Sunday, these black teachers. Instead of teaching you economics, mathematics, things that you can bring a community together, they want you to keep your eyes on that cross and that sign of aggression of murder that's on the cross. Because in Africa, they had the cross at Lalibela, and they didn't have nobody hanging on it. And the prophet, to protect his followers, Prophet Muhammad, he sent his people to Ethiopia for protection against the pagan Arabs that are in control of Islam today. And they poisoned the prophet. The pagan Arabs got rid of Prophet Muhammad because he was teaching the truth about spirituality and the connection to God. So start reading. Don't be afraid of righteousness. Embrace righteousness, and the righteousness will embrace you back. But religion will take you further into darkness. You got to get tired of darkness and want to come to the light. And I hope you get something from this little discussion that we're having. And black men, we have to get on the path of being a righteous man and learn how to treat black women righteously, and learn the next generation that righteousness is more important than unrighteousness, because that's what the battle is. The battle is between righteous and unrighteous. Don't let nobody trick you about religion. Stay away from religion, because that's what has you in darkness. And the pain and the suffering came because they put you under the influence of religion. So start seeking righteousness and learning about yourself and how important you are to telling the world about the truth. And my time is up, and we're going to keep it moving and keep studying and start praying to righteousness. In the name of righteousness, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to righteousness, the Lord of all the worlds, most merciful, Master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship, and thine aid do we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, not those whose portion is wrath, nor those who go astray from righteousness. Amen. Peace and deliverance.